Hi guys. I'm sitting here in a scarf, sort of shaped like a hijab, but didn't quite get it right. But that's okay. That it's the thought that counts. I think I can't quite get the folds right. It doesn't quite sit. It's okay. Um, I am. I haven't done a rant for a while, and given the extremities of what happened last Friday, I felt like it was time to have another rant. But this one will not be all that funny or silly or anything. It's more just a lot of built up emotion over the past 10 days or so. These things that have happened in New Zealand are unprecedented. 50 people died, 50 people were injured, and they were all done so while at Friday prayers in their mosque. And, well, I don't have to say that, but that's not okay. That's not okay. In the past almost 2 weeks, no, not almost 2 weeks, in the past week, just over a week, I have been extremely sick. And when this happened, I was extremely sick. I was almost having to be hospitalized with tonsillitis. My other health issues make things a lot more dangerous when I get things like that. So I haven't said anything until now, but because I was so sick, I was only in bed and I was on Facebook a lot. The reason why I have a lot to say is because my Facebook feed, I should have avoided it. I should have avoided it. I should still avoid it, but it just, I don't know, it goads me when people are just so angry and so irrational and making large statements all over their Facebook. And I understand that people don't know how to act because we've never been faced with such a level of violence in New Zealand before. And I mean, our Prime Minister has been amazing in the face of this, and quite frankly, I think she is just she's the best leader we've ever had. I don't think that the other leaders would have done as well, but that's just my opinion, and I don't know that for sure. And someone pointed that out to me because apparently everyone can't have an opinion without someone just having an opinion back. So, in this past week, I have seen posts about Christians. Now, okay, I get that Christians have been persecuted, and I'm not talking in the past couple of weeks. I mean over history. But there's a lot of misinformation out there about Christian persecution. There are people making up statistics, people making up stories in order to kind of religion bait, kind of like race bait, but religion. Look, Friday was about Muslims, man. Like, get over it. We need to be focused on our country right now. Our country is in pain. Our country is grieving, and to start going on about alleged attacks in other countries, allegedly about religion, it's just God. See, I can't do this. It's just bad taste. Seriously. And if you don't understand why it's bad taste, then I don't know how your mums have been raising you or anything, but uh, just imagine your father died and then someone else says, oh, look, someone else's father's died, so let's make it about them. doesn't take away the fact that your father died and you're grieving over your father, right? Um, I I can't stand the fact that Christians were so upset about the call to prayer on Friday just been. There was a call to prayer over the country. The Muslim prayer song or chant, I don't know what you call it, was played over the radio and on TV, and you were invited to participate. Invited. Okay, Christians, that's like getting upset if someone invites you to a party and you don't want to go and making it about you. Stop it. Christianity isn't as persecuted as you think it is. The other thing that I've been getting upset about is within a couple of days, people were making articles and posts about the history of white affliction around the world. That's not helpful either. I believe it's not helpful because it's kind of soon. It's very soon after something terrible has happened, and people are reeling, and they're having very strong feelings, and I get that, and that may be why these articles were written, but I think it's irresponsible to bring it up at that point, because what happens when people are in pain, they act out in pain. So if you give them a target, they will they will use that target. So basically, if thankfully the majority of Muslims are only seeing love, thankfully the majority of people are only seeing love, but imagine if you just go and you're trying to give scapegoats to people, they will use them. I'm not saying that white people haven't committed atrocities. That's not what I'm saying. I definitely know that, but I just don't think it's the right time, guys. The right time is when people have settled down and had time to process, and that might take a little while, and you might not exactly know when the time is to say it, but yeah. Also, I think it's relevant, but at the same time it's not, because there's a difference between white supremacy and systemized racism. So I get that one causes the other sometimes. And I get that we need to focus on changing things. Absolutely. 100%. The stories that I hear about Muslims getting people yelling out to them, go home, go back to your country, stuff like that, not okay. And for the record, not all Muslims are people of colour, so that just doesn't even make sense. Some people, like many Muslims in New Zealand, were born here. Doesn't matter what skin colour you are, the flipping Kiwis anyway. But you get what I mean, like, it's just ridiculous. I've lost my train of thought, but there's just so much crap going on, and there's so much crap, like shit flinging. And I have to say, it's not brought me peace. It's brought me terror. And I mean, I grew up where I was told very consistently all the things that people my colour have done. Very often, it was actually shoved down our throats in some schools, to the point where we didn't know how to process it because we were children, and suddenly we're ashamed. We went from, okay, I think I'm part Māori because everything I say and do is exactly the same as my Māori friends, and we run around half naked in the middle of winter and doing things, to suddenly thinking, oh my God, I'm dangerous to my Māori friends because of my skin colour. So there's there's a responsibility. Like, you can acknowledge past atrocities without demonizing people, right? I personally have not given any kind of I haven't done anything to any kind of person of any color that it would be deemed as racist. I'm not perfect, but I it it gets difficult, man. It gets difficult. I I know that I have privilege because of my color. I mean, this is what everything is brought up, and it's just like making my head spin because I'm so scared that I won't do the right thing. I'm so scared that people will take me wrong way because of all these things. Like, one party is saying we need to do this and it makes sense. Another party is saying something kind of opposite and also makes sense. It ends up being this confusion of what is the right thing to do. At the end of the day, guys, can you just chill out and make it about these Muslim people who lost their friends and family and people in their community, and stop making it about everything else. Everything else can come later. And I mean, fear begets fear, right? So if you start creating this environment of fear, it's just going to like create more fear. And if you create more fear, it's just going to end up causing us to turn into America, and no one wants that, right? So just, yeah. Anyway, my heart and my soul is broken over what happened on Friday. And I am supposed to be going to an event at an Altair Square at the moment, but I can't get there, so because I'm not feeling very well, I couldn't handle the crowds. So I want to say to my Muslim friends that I will do everything in my power to help change the culture of New Zealand so that it has got more love, more understanding, and I will do everything in my power to help you in your time of need. If you ever need anything, let me know. There's not a heck of a lot I can do with my health stuff, but I can listen. I can have a cup of coffee with you if you want to come over and have a cuppa. I can walk with you to your mosque if you're scared. So just let me know. Kia kaha. Assalamu alaikum.